Okay, and welcome everybody to episode 19 of the Friendlyjordies podcast. I'm Robbie, the sound guy. I've got Monty over here.
Hey guys, this week we've got Di in the studio, we've got Ali, so
Jordan's here.
And Jordan's here as well. So you might remember Di from an earlier episode. He's also been on both the election coverages, and Ali has also been on one of the election coverages in the past. Hey guys.
Hi everyone. Thanks for having me back.
Hey guys, how you going?
Yeah.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, good. Oh yeah, and Jordan's here as well. He just ran in from the bathroom.
It's really amusing looking at both of them. It looks kind of like two Siamese fighting fish, but they're in the same jar and living harmoniously, defying all pet logic.
I'm sort of getting ticked off, man. I don't like that piece is not going to last for very long.
Do you feel like trying to gum his gills off? Is that how they win? How do you win a Siamese fighting fish fight?
Yeah,
that is such an odd thought, is 20 Vietnamese men standing around this tiny little, maybe about 5 litres of water going, go, 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 yeah!
Yeah, how do they get each other?
Don't they just headbutt each other until they...
Headbutt? I don't know.
Because their head's pretty hard.
Yeah.
And they're like
5
crocodiles,
guys.
like they can bite pretty strongly.
I think both of them just eat each other from each end, and then whoever vanishes just loses.
Well, there you go.
Have you seen this happen?
Several speculative ideas that are based on absolutely nothing.
Hey, we're in a jar.
start.
We know how it's going to work, all right? We're the ones who are living harmoniously at this point.
Souls in a
And
jar.
we are basically in one of those goldfish studios where there is a bunch of places around us, but replace Vietnamese men with a bunch of people that have curly hair that is shaved on either side, and they've gone, yeah, I've got grey hair, I just wanted to see what it looks like.
Yeah, so this is produced at FBI, which should be a clue for you.
And complaint of the week is, why is the men's bathroom shut down? Every single week we've been in here, there's been something that's very urgent, i.e. once we were in here and we couldn't breathe. And they told us not to come in, but
It wasn't that
anyway.
bad.
And then we sat there and go, it smells funny in here for an hour on the pod.
I had a headache.
This
There's some
week it is...
subconscious reason that we all just want to go into the ladies' bathroom.
Yeah.
And we just
Maybe,
don't
yeah,
want to
you
go
can
into
walk
it.
I suppose, yeah, the door was just closed. We didn't really look if it was engaged or not, but we thought, no, I don't want to.
I waited for half an hour.
I don't want to make them shy.
I waited for half an hour outside that men's room and then realized that there isn't anyone in there. It's just locked. So might as well just use the ladies' bathroom then.
Okay, well, that solves that mystery then. It is not, and, you know, FBI, when we come back here next time, we expect it to be unlocked, but if not, we'll continue to use the ladies' bathroom. It was really clean in there. We liked it.
So this week we were talking about what we should be theming the week, and Robbie was not at all helpful on that. He seems to be very grumpy today, and we're not sure why. So the theme of
I'm
this...
fine.
The theme of this
No,
week,
you're not, Robbie. If this was a Mr. Men's book, you would definitely be Mr. Frowny Face.
Yeah, so
Which is not a
not
book,
true,
but I've
not
just
true.
written it then, and it's really easy to write. It's about 20 words on 10 pages.
yeah, so we're just trying to cheer Robbie up throughout the...
That's not true. I'm fine.
so I don't know what that's all about.
I'm not sure what that's about.
The sequel, Mr. Passive-Aggressive Frowny Pants. If you could just picture Robbie is not a human being for the rest of the pod, that would be very helpful for this pod. Just think of an oblong man with one of those whip, whip noses that you feel like when he gets really angry, it goes, puffs out.
So Ali's
Look at him
been...
go, he just did it! He just did it! Jesus. Sorry to yell into it, Robbie. I know
it's
you're
all
in a grumpy mood.
That's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. It's all good. What's the next segment?
Ali's back from Pakistan, and he's got lots of cool stories, and we were going to have a chat with him about that, because, yeah, it's
In a delightful segment entitled Third World Problems. You should see the look on Ali's face at the moment. That is just total offence.
Yeah, man.
Ali, total offence. Any Rome Total War nerds listening out there, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, whoa, where were you in 2008? So anyway, yeah, what were you doing, Ali? Tell us.
Obama!
That was Di.
Is somebody who is... Fun fact, before we go into these delightful tales about a really, really poor country, Obama is terrified of Pakistan. It's his most feared country in the world, and Ali takes great pride in that. So we welcome Ali, who just got his citizenship, into Australia, knowing that about his background.
Why is Obama scared of Pakistan?
Obama's scared of Pakistan because he too afraid of reality. He's just
What do you mean?
The rest of the world is real as well,
What are
right?
you
like
talking
the only
about?
places that aren't real is France and I don't know Ireland. When you go there and you're like, oh, I thought there'd be more leprechauns here.
Yeah, what is it? Explain that.
Man, I've got with this one story for you. So I just came back from Pakistan and I met this one guy who lived for about 8 months under occupation of Taliban. This guy was intense. Like, it was a life-changing experience for this guy.
That is real. I will team that. Come on, guys. Okay. We were all sitting there going, nah, it's not that real. What are you talking about? Well, I know this guy that was there for 8 months who lived under the Taliban. So it was the first sentence in this delightful story.
Yeah, everyone shuts up after hearing that.
Yeah, and that's just the beginning, because, like, that's not even a big problem for this guy. He literally saw people get slaughtered on the street. Like, he was telling me once he knew this one singer who lived in his neighborhood. This guy owns a hotel in one of the areas of Pakistan where Taliban was in control. So one of the singers that lived near his house, she literally got slaughtered in front of the whole community for being a singer in the past. So this guy has seen some really grotesque, dreadful things in his life.
Robbie, can we just play Jerry Seinfeld opening to Seinfeld?
We will.
this is-
Not a lot funny about that one, is there? That's really quite
It's a
horrific.
mood setter.
I don't know. I think the music will work, yeah.
It's a
We'll
mood
try.
setter.
We'll try, but I'm not sure.
But there's a happy ending.
This is the problem with having Ali as a friend when you go to parties. This is what we're trying to convey to everybody out there, that yes, he's the most interesting man you know when you're in a group of people that you know. But as soon as he started telling that story, I think everybody had that realization that thousands of people are going to hear this. Holy shit, how do we respond to this?
Yeah, it's such a... Yeah, you come back with like...
Now
the
that is a
craziest thing.
first world problem. Yeah, right?
Yeah, yes. Good
You're
one.
right, you got us. Ali, continue. We're so sorry.
No, but there's a good ending to this. Because, like,
All right. Yeah, let's hear it.
so while this guy was under Taliban occupation, he obviously hated these guys. And then eventually the Pakistani army took over the region. And when they did, this guy became friends with a lot of the commandos that were conducting the operation because he had a hotel there and everyone was staying there. So he became friends with these guys. So one time, the army people took him on a helicopter ride where they were getting information out of a Taliban commander. And now he didn't know what to expect. He just thought he was a bystander just looking at what's happening. So they were doing their own thing, usually like Hollywood, but more real. And so they were like getting information out of him. And once they were done, while the helicopter was flying, they decided to just throw him off. And before doing that, they looked at this guy who they knew was under Taliban occupation for all this time, so he probably had some feelings against them. They asked him if he wants to push this guy off the helicopter.
That's awesome. That is their version of Americans in the South going, you want to shoot the buck, son? Can I, Dad? Psh, yay!
And this guy was...
more real than that.
Yeah,
Definitely
definitely more real.
He's proven it. Pakistan more real than the rest of the world.
That's why Obama's scared.
And he was super excited about pushing this guy over. And he does. He pushes this guy over, and it's the best moment of his life. I was hanging out with this guy. Can you imagine a guy who's been through all of this while hanging out with you at that point? You're sharing a dinner, and he's sharing this story with you. You're just going, man, I have never seen anything like that in my life.
I'm
You
sitting next to a murderer right now.
So he was incredibly happy with that, and you were sitting there having the same reaction that we are now of going, did you?
No, I was being
okay.
a dickhead because I was living in first row for a very long time. I was just looking at him like, that is too insane. Why would they want to do this? And this guy just looks at me and says, why shouldn't they do it? And at that point, I was like, all right, fair enough. This guy has a point. He has seen people get slaughtered.
Was that the end of the conversation there, or were you able to shift gears in a non-clunky way, or was there kind of a, and then you just hear that sound of scraping cutlery that gets really echoed it's like that, and it kind of stops your brain from working even more because your ears are It's really like being in a special school at that moment where somebody's saying something horrific, and then in the background there's people going, "My ears, I can't hear properly." There's terrible problems happening at the same. Sorry, my microphone was out of the way. I don't even know if any of that was recorded. But did you hear me, Ali? Did you
Yes,
get that?
I did. And the fact is, while I was listening to this, I was super interested. But at the same point, after that story, it's a wrap-up of the conversation. You're just thinking, what can you say after this? There is nothing that's going to live up to the reputation of... What am I going to say? What am I going to say to
Well,
this
there's
guy?
a whole
Oh, yeah.
podcast to come from that one. Isn't there? So
Yeah, there could be. Yeah.
Does anyone have anything to say to that? Or are we going to do that cutlery moment on the pod?
I'm going to go culinary.
Yeah, I don't know what we can say. I'm scared, man.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about what I can say there.
Don't be scared. It's the reality for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Being
I know.
scared.
That's why I'm
That's the
scared.
scary part.
Yeah,
man.
that
This is a third world problem, not a first world problem. So think of yourself as a third world man. How do you react to this?
So
Yeah.
I'd like to advise every pod listener now, just as a huge juxtaposition, to look up Nigga Higa's First World Problems on YouTube. Just remember that story and then go on to like his amazing observations of people going, "My hanky's already been blown." That'll lift your mood, because none of us know how to do that at the moment. You can
Oh,
check
just
out.
try to realize that maybe empathy is a first world problem, and just go along and laugh with the story.
Yeah, I reckon that's true, man. Because this guy wasn't that freaked out about his own story. It was a normal day for him. Because it's again a third world. Empathy is not a third world problem. Like the problems in third world are way bigger than feeling sorry for someone else.
But
It's-
surely, if he's telling you the story of how he was put in a helicopter to go and like kill a Talibani member, it must have been significant enough for him to remember it as like a story to tell, right? Like maybe for him, even it's like quite exceptional. Or do you think just on a daily basis he was doing that?
Was he proud of it?
He was sort of proud of it. He didn't want to say it out loud though, but he felt proud of the fact that he killed someone who did slaughter people. So he was happy about the fact that one man down. And he was sort of annoyed with me for like being weird about it and saying that should they like there should be a
Why
court,
was
there
he
should
telling
be
you?
jury, there should be prosecution, and he was just looking at me. You have no idea what I'm talking about.
So, like, you had this so-called first world problem as well of empathy. It was just this guy who was just like proud of it.
Yeah, I feel I'm like somewhere in between first world and third world because I never fit in first world or the third world. So I guess I'm living somewhere in Russia, the second world.
It makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense that you spent your entire life in Pakistan living in a bordered society where you were away from the worst of Pakistan, but you could still see it from your Arabian-style window, looking out and
Yeah.
seeing all of this murder and mayhem happening downstairs while you were in there and you were thinking, "Oh, I've got to distract myself with something." And that's why you are a Marxist. Ali likes Marxism, which makes heaps of sense that he seems to kind of sympathize with Russia. That he
Yeah,
is
I
a
thi-
second world man.
I think that's true. And I'll tell you something else. I have literally seen that through my window, real third world problems happening while I was just safe in my room. This was during one of the riots, and I was looking through my window, and I saw these guys steal phones and cars. I was literally looking at them beating up random people, and I couldn't do anything. It's like, what can you do? You can't call the police. Those
Why?
guys were probably the police that were doing it.
Oh my god!
And you want to be safe. You see that there is nothing else. You have to be a Marxist at that point, where this is just insane. Literally looking through the glass window towards hell.
And you go back and back, don't you?
And you love
And
it.
you wanted to live there. You wanted to go back. Ali, the rest of his family, had to convince him solemnly for a month to take up Australian citizenship. He saw that for years, went to a party where there was people that used to be terrorists that were security guards at this party that forced them to dance for 3 extra hours when the party was scheduled to shut down, and they all had to sit there going, "Oh, I'm having a good time," for the next, until 3 a.m. in the morning. Ali saw all that and went, yeah, like, you know what? Australia's not all it's cracked up to be.
I love this place.
Well, we have to remember that Ali's house is in the shape of a cloud, and it's almost a kilometer high up in the air. So,
Yeah, he has a pretty good in Pakistan.
I had a really good architect.
Yeah, that's true. And you also... I remember once Ali saying that Arabian Princes is completely a fabrication of Disney, that it doesn't exist. And then we went down the whole checklist. We asked Ali, did you ever used to lie around in bed without a shirt on with puffy pants? He said yes. Did you ever used to eat grapes that were handed to you by a servant? Ali had hundreds of servants in Pakistan, so obviously that was yes. Were you looking out at a really nice silken curtain gently swaying in some Arabian desert winds, and he also had exactly that dome kind of window?
Yeah, like
that
the
all
Aladdin.
happened. And then after all of that saying, it is a stereotype, man, it doesn't exist.
Okay, so the grapes were good, so I want to have them grapes, and I can't be getting them from the fridge all the time, so I had someone deliver it to me in my room. I don't understand how that's a Disney theme song. That's real life issues where you don't want to get out of your air conditioned room. You don't want to get out of your air conditioned room because it's burning outside, and someone is handing you a bunch of grapes.
It's
You
also
just accept
rioting
them.
outside as well.
Ali, the Pakistani cartman.
It's true though.
All right, so we might move on to Goosebumps now.
Oh, thank God.
You reckon? Okay.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Robbie, let's explain where we were last week. What were our options and what was chosen in the end?
What happened was the options were you could look in the ball pit for Stinky, or you could go into the cave. I'm pretty sure. And the
Explain who's Stinky?
Stinky is the little brother, I think.
Okay, so this is like the babysitting book.
Yes, the babysitting book. It's called Attack of the Beastly Babysitter.
And
So it's supposed to be read in a New Zealand accent, the word stinky. Obviously, that name should be called out as Stinky.
yeah, can you do
Stinky.
that, please? Stinky.
I'll have a go.
Hey, Stinky, what stinks?
Maybe.
Pretty good.
So the decision was to go into the ball pit. So, here we go. Knowing Stinky, he's definitely headed for the bottomless ball pit. You follow the kid in the red cap who's running in that direction. Good choice. It's Stinky, all right. Before you can catch up to him, he reaches the edge of the ball pit. Stinky! You holler at him. Get back here, you dumbo! Stinky glances over at you and sticks out his tongue. I don't have to, he taunts. You're not my boss. Typical Stinky. You open your mouth to scream again. Too late. He dives. He lands in the middle of the coloured plastic balls and vanishes. Next page.
It's always the funnest part of these books.
Stinky! You yell as loud as you can. It's no use wasting your breath. He can't hear you. He is sunk from view, buried in coloured plastic balls. You've got to get him out of there, and then you've got to get both of you out of the fun zone. But how? You notice heavy ropes dangling over the pit. If you could just grab one of the ropes, you might be able to swing over the pit and yank Stinky out. That is, if he comes up to the surface, you remind yourself. You could dive in, but it would be very hard to find him among all those kids in plastic balls. You know Zoe is going to show up any minute, and Stinky is definitely not going to come out of the ball pit on his own. What should you do? The options are jump into the ball pit or go for the rope. So ball pit or rope. Comment that in the comment section.
Wasn't ball pit
Below.
already an option?
Again, this is so dive in ball pit or
Go for the
rope.
Don't need to say it again.
But it's a separate post though, so like they will indicate different directions in the story, right?
Yeah.
So dive ball pit.
I'm so lost in this story. I've been
I sort
lost
of am
for
as well.
This entire book, I think I've actually.
Yeah, basically we're in this weird zone, right? And so
Wait, so all right, don't worry.
who cares?
Yeah, thank
Just
you, Learn the
vote.
Kids Club for the book. Yeah, you guys are great.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah.
yeah, also we're going to be launching our website soon and launching a shirt through Lonely Kids Club, which is very exciting.
Interactive Goosebumps app.
Yeah, that too. We're designing an app for Goosebumps. for Goosebumps.
With Goosebumps.
With Goosebumps.
With R.L. Stein's widow.
He's alive, isn't he?
I don't know.
Yes, he's alive.
He's definitely
All right, let's move on.
All right. So,
Did you ask R.L. Stein for permission?
no, we didn't. No.
All right, we'll do this off air.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to talking to Di, because, all right, so we originally spoke to Di in the 3rd or 4th episode, something like that. 6th episode, quite far off, about his beliefs of the flat Earth and the dome world that we live within, and a lot has happened to Di since then. So we wanted to talk to him because, it's actually quite an interesting series of events. So Di, how are you?
So this is, if you just imagine that this sound effect is a bottle of tomato sauce going ketchup with Daisley.
So Di, are you still?
Everyone.
So all right. So tell us what you've summarized in a few sentences what you've done since we last saw you.
Well,
Just a few sentences.
a few sentences.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, I
Big change.
took myself into the wilderness,
as in
left
An
my
amazing
parents,
start.
left my parents, and cleaved onto my bride, which was the beach at that time.
yeah.
My tuxedo was the beach shower.
And I waited and waited and waited and waited
For what?
in the darkness.
What were
and
you
then-
waiting for? I still don't get this. Di came to us when I was house sitting, and we put a piece of toilet paper between my butt cheeks.
This was
and by we, I
Max's
mean it
house.
was specifically Max's house.
Robbie
Or
wiped
odd.
Jordan's ass.
Robbie wiped Jordan's ass. There was a stain on it, and the Max family didn't notice and used the toilet paper.
shit.
I'm assuming because they didn't listen to the podcast. Whatever, you snooze, you lose. That was not the greatest revelation of that amazing house stay. And granted, that was great. But then the next day, Di comes over and Ali was there. And we just finished watching some hilarious British comedy, talking about that. Really, just that movie critic that's a 40-year-old that wishes that they had that job, but really just like works as an astrologer going, I don't even get to look at the stars, it's just a computer all day. We were having that conversation outside. And then Di just lays on us, oh yeah, I'm homeless now, guys. And so that was the beginning of it. And
So-
we are
Sorry.
still just as dumbfounded as we were then.
That's right. And I was quite ashamed to not say that I wasn't homeless, because I wasn't homeless and I wasn't domeless. I was entering back.
You can't be domeless.
Exactly.
There's no way out. You found that out the hard way.
Yeah, so Di's gone from being the Dome King to the Domeless King.
You keep saying that it's Domeless King, but the Dome King has returned, and he is saying that there is no state of domelessness. You always have a dome.
You're always under the dome.
You're always under the dome.
How did you find this out? So you were looking for a way out of the dome so you could prove to everybody by bringing the sun down with a single hand, going, see, it's the size of a tennis ball, and it's not even hot.
Wait.
Oh, I got second-degree burns.
Yeah,
Not
so-
as hot as what you thought.
Why were you homeless? Why did you become homeless?
Let's just say, some circumstances at home. There was some fighting with my parents, or just disagreements, really. And
Were there like spiritual reasons to it?
yeah, I guess that's ultimately what it culminated to in the end.
But more or less, it can be summed
But
up by
from
the
the
ludicrous
beginning.
song.
From the beginning, that was probably the real reason that I went out, and I went out with that mind. You know, I took the Bible and I took also the Quran with me, but
How much did you read
Yeah,
of it?
score for me.
Ali was working at Borders at the time, even though it's closed down here. He went over to some of the American chains where it's still open in the Midwest somewhere, looked out, and then there was a picture of Ali on the front of the Quran, and it said, Ali recommends. And so Di picked that up and went, all right. Use it as a substitute reading to the Bible.
And up until that point, I'd been fascinated by the passages in the Bible talking about the shape of the earth and the firmament.
Wait, sorry, the other thing. Wait, have you been on since you... All right, yeah. Not like on the election coverage, but yeah, the other big change that's happened with Di is he's no longer... He's still are you still like really into conspiracy theories and that kind of thing?
Not too much.
Not too much. He's more moved from that, and now he's more of like...
A man of God.
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself a man of God, or are you so Christian that you consider yourself a lamb of God? And you'll kind of wake up every day going, I don't have wool. Where's my wool?
I want to grow into a man of God.
But at the moment, do you consider yourself a Gwen Stefani's debut album, L.A.M.?
So, how do you connect... So how do you combine the dome thing with the...
Well, as I was saying, I was really intrigued by those passages, because I'd already thought in my own mind that possibly the earth was flat, and we did have a solid structure above us, and we could not leave. There was no space. That story was just a story. And then... But I was also quite... spiritually lost and didn't know who I was, and that was a bigger problem at the time rather than considering all these weird theories, and so I cried out to God in the name of Jesus Christ.
Awesome. Ali, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm just wondering, what did he say when he screamed out?
That's not cool, man.
That's not nice.
No,
answer his question. Do
Use
it.
words as such.
Was it Latin?
It was not words as such as Latin or English or any kind of human language. It was the Word, which is His Son, which is Jesus Christ.
Have you been going to church a lot? Like
no, I haven't. How
have you learned this like language? Like it's kind of a, like a, you hear this language a lot. Like saying like the word, like it's not like, is it self-taught?
That's while I was there, I delved deeper into not so much the Old Testament, because that at that point was quite incomprehensible, except for the passages that talked about the earth. That was what I was interested in at the time.
Right.
But so I was just lost at that time, and then I was just looking through the New Testament and the story of Jesus, and so I thought I first prayed for the desire to want to be a disciple of Jesus Christ.
Right.
And because I wasn't sure at that point.
And
But
now
now-
you're sure.
As I prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed some more, God answered with that desire in me.
Right.
And so I went back to him. And when I had complete faith in the story that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, the risen Messiah, that is when the whole book just took on a whole new meaning to me. And even though I still think about the flat earth sometimes, it's not the main... That's not the point.
Yeah, of course it's not the point.
The point is,
flat
Di
earth
needs a reason to wear a Southeast Asian military jacket and have one of those crazy man beards. How much does it look like that? If you just didn't have a shirt on, I would be very, very convinced that you're trying to save me from a Terminator.
Well, I am.
Yeah, Satan.
Yes, the hipster next door just pops up his eyes at the moment. Yeah, and there's just red. and then Di, instead of talking scripture, just goes, "Get down."
How does like is the Illuminati a still big thing in your mind, or that's kind of
Well,
like
okay.
taking this backseat?
Because I've seen so much of that conspiracy stuff, and I've looked into so much of that, and people have theories about it, the Illuminati, all the
Yep.
the media control and all of that. They're putting little signs in there, and and people are searching for this big bad enemy called the dubbed the Illuminati. And some people don't like that. Well, regardless, that's what it's been dubbed. And since you don't know, then I just put it to God's work.
So if
That is God. It's not the Illuminati. It is God.
Tom were to lift up his shirt at this point, and around his nipple was a triangle. Would you be scared, or would you just be like, "It's another one of God's mysteries, man"?
That seems so vague to me.
What would you do? What would you do? Are you scared?
No, I'm not. I'm not scared.
What if he pulled down his pants and then he just looked down there and was saying that, like, the Illuminati eye is a lot dirtier than you think, baby. It's a brown eye. Would you be scared then?
No, that would be quite funny.
What?
I'd be scared of
Come on,
myself.
Tom, do it.
Brown eyes,
Show them
baby.
your tat.
Could anything convince you otherwise of this conviction, Di?
Oh, could it? Maybe, I don't know.
So
No, I have to say no, because once you come to this point, pretty much nothing else makes sense. If without the faith, which is Jesus Christ, then nothing in this world makes sense. Once you have the faith.
So do you think that Ali's family is wrong? Will you try and convert them if you go to their house?
is that like your duty?
Because
as a
if you
Christian?
do, look, I don't want to be there, man.
Well, no, my duty as a Christian is to share the truth, but not in a way that's without grace, and also just to love everyone.
Right.
Would
Well,
you
that seems pretty
consider?
nice. That's good.
Would you consider handing out flyers dressed as a baby, saying that, like, you've got to be Christian if you're not, you're a baby still if you don't have it? Would you consider that with grace?
Yeah, I always find they're the nicest people that approach. Like, sometimes not.
Naked.
No. Like in the train stations, like
Naked
you just get
Christians,
approached
the
and
nicest.
given those like.
Oh no,
pamphlet.
I don't like them at all.
Like when they don't talk to you, they just like kind of give it to you, wander off.
Do you consider being on grace?
Yeah, I don't know why I said that. I don't like it either.
Man, I think I'm just gonna say it. Those
evidently
people
crazy.
at the train station spreading the God's word. It's cool that they're spreading it, but like I don't want to hear it. And
Is it
I'm
cool?
like most of the times I'm just gonna avoid them and like walk past.
Yeah, man. Of course. I think that's. Yeah, I think everyone hates it.
Ali, do you consider yourself enough of a hipster, because it's all well established that everyone in this room, apart from Di, who is more of your fun-loving lunatic type, whereas like we're more just like, yeah, this we feel at home here, don't we? This is really we are legless lizards and FBI is the rock that we live under. This is the feeling that we get of cozy, wet. I'm between a rock and a muddy place, and it feels great. Imagine if that was the tag for everything before it goes
Between
on to
a rock and a
between
muddy
FBI
place.
songs. Yeah, just being like, just gotta get myself in a nice little comfy crevice here. You're listening to FBI.
This'll end.
But do you consider yourself enough of a hipster to start an argument with people in the train station that are handing out Christian flyers, going, "Where's your proof? You don't have any proof. It's just written by a man, you know. How could God write?
Yeah, God's word, more like
Oh, right,
man's
because
word.
God works in mysterious ways. Is that it? Whatever, man."
As much as I hate to admit the fact that I'm a hipster, but I have already been through those conversations and arguments. Like, after a certain point, you're just ticked off and just like, okay, what's the evidence? Why are you saying this? And then it's just, and I would suggest everyone not to do this because you just get into a pointless conversation for half an hour. And the guy who's claiming that he knows everything is probably going to win because ever since he was a kid, he's thought that he knows everything, and it's not going to admit in half an hour that you've changed his mind about everything that he believes in.
Yeah.
I wouldn't encourage Christians to debate these things.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't either. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. They'll
that's the
find out
thing.
stuff they don't want to know.
I'm not sitting at the train station
Whoa.
telling people not to believe in God. So I'm just like, I'd like to. We all.
Well, the
do
problem
stuff.
is that a big part of their belief system is to try and convert others, right? Like
yeah,
it's-
that's something that I wouldn't want to do, man.
yeah. It's good.
So I think that's one thing that needs to be changed. And
That's
our-
why like Judaism's kind of cool because they're more of like we're a cool little club and we don't want
yeah,
anyone
but
else.
but the club is taken too seriously at times.
Yeah, some good.
But
Jews
no,
and
but
some
it's true. Like it's not a missionary religion, and I think that's kind of cool. You believe in what you want.
Yeah.
Do you believe that Jesus would be more appealing or cooler to you, Di, if he was a mermaid in all of the pictures on churches? Or would that make you believe in him less?
Yeah, that's
Less.
cool. Really? Why less?
Because he says that he walks on water. You can't.
If you're a mermaid,
You've got a tail.
You don't have legs, mate. Yeah,
Imagine if that was the moment where Di was just like, all right, the Bible is nonsense.
yeah, that was ridiculous. Yeah, come on.
Why do you think that would be less, though? If it was exactly the same in every way, except for Jesus was a mermaid.
Or had a hoof
Yeah,
for a hand.
yeah. He had a mermaid. It was a mermaid with horse hands.
Just one.
Just
Yeah.
one
Because
horse.
he wouldn't be.
And everything that he says in the Bible is just...
the point about Jesus is that he was God. He was the Son of God in flesh.
But you can
As a
still be
man.
that, right?
As a man.
But if it just replaced it with
Deformed
mermaid,
man.
No.
yeah, as a
hoofed man.
as a merhorse,
It doesn't work like
Hooved
that because
man.
none of us are mermaids. The point is,
True. Yeah.
None of
point
us are the
is
son of God.
that he
either,
was man. He was fully man and fully God.
Yep. Do you
That's
fancy
he was
yourself?
oh man.
200%.
So if he was dressed as a cowboy with a lasso, would you consider that more old man?
Yeah, more manly. Yeah, if he didn't have
Long hair.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's irrelevant.
I don't know.
How would you change Jesus? How would you change
I
the
wouldn't
look
want to
of
change
Jesus?
him one bit.
You couldn't.
Come on, there's
Play along.
yeah. Come on, one thing. All right, say he's got blue eyes. Would you-
come on, give us a little sugar.
It's like Sims. All right, you're making Jesus.
Do you fancy yourself as like a creationist, Di?
Yes.
Right. Cool.
That's awesome.
All right, well, let's move on.
Thanks, Di. Thanks so much for telling us the story.
No worries.
Yeah, that was actually interesting.
That was really
Yeah.
brave, man.
It was.
Especially because all of us, throughout that whole thing, were just thinking of how to disparage your beliefs.
So yeah, that was really, really brave. Yeah, thank you.
And you stood strong. Onwards, Christian soldier.
All right, so now we're going to talk about. We should have done this all last week, the Heaven edition, because it's all religious based. But yeah, now selling souls. So let's talk about that, which is
Good.
an idea
Finally,
that Jordan
it comes
has.
out.
Yeah, so this is an idea that Jordan and Di and Ali think is hilarious, and we just don't think it's good at all. But
Exceptionally masterful. It comes from Di and his immaculate research into the Bible, picking up something that nobody else saw
No.
by looking at YouTube, and in the YouTube comments, some guy said,
No. Let me clarify. This was not in the Bible.
no,
But
Di,
you
you
thought
said it was in the
but
Bible.
You thought it was, but it was a YouTube comment of
This-
somebody
yeah.
saying, "Man, it's in the Bible. Look it up." And I looked it up. It's not in the
It's
Bible.
not in the Bible, yeah. But it was this YouTube comment, and he was saying that in the last days, Babylon as a symbol for this, I think America and the rest of the world, in its single economy kind of thing. In the last days, the last thing that they would trade as currency would be souls.
Human souls.
human souls. And then
Is that it? So there was no other... Because we were thinking that to make a currency that has trillions in it, you would have to get some frogs and some worms in there.
Yeah, because it's just a terrible currency, isn't it? If you got 6 billion souls, you've got $6 billion to spread across the entire Earth, right? How do you split a soul? Like, do you get change from your soul? Or what?
no.
No.
But that's the thing.
That it becomes so commonplace that you walk into 7-Eleven and say
Buy
milk
some
and
milk.
bread costs you $12. Instead, the person goes, "That'll be 12 souls, thanks." And then you, okay, right. You take out a jar, and as soon as you take it out, you can hear them going. And Robbie, yes, we finally got a smile out of it. I've been talking about this for 2 weeks straight, and every time he's staring at me with these blank, dead fish eyes, as if to say, like,
Fish
"Wanna buy
eyes.
me for
Dead
12
fish
souls?
eyes.
I'm a dead fish."
Long
Looks like
dead
I could
fish.
just eat you up for to try and impress my girlfriend by going, "Look, I know how to cook Thai food."
God.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
How is it not? Explain yourselves. Explain why that is not a fantastic idea that souls become money.
I think it's been done before. Like we said, I'm pretty sure it's. I've seen it in an
Just think
animated
of like
cartoon.
Hercules or something. You know the animated film. You know that pit of souls.
That's a
Just sort of
pit.
has that
It's
Disneyfied
just
air to
mud.
it.
Yeah,
It doesn't have any worth. You're not using it as a currency. That's where the genius emerges of this idea.
We're talking about monetary value for souls.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem that creative to me.
No. The souls are the actual currency. Like
It doesn't get me.
But it's not creative because it's going to happen eventually.
yeah.
So it's not
Well-
like we created it. It's a reality of life.
Yeah.
Eventually, we're going to sell souls. So we're going to have to give 4 frog souls for a loaf of bread. Like, that's been figured out already.
So yeah, Robbie, because you hate it so much, we thought, you don't care about souls. How
I'm
about
alright with it. It's fine.
What about this as a further adage to it? If you're a rich woman and say you drop your jar of souls and they go and fly away, you have a little poltergeist, so it's an evil child on a leash, but the ghost of an evil child. And then you can let it go and just be like, "Shickum Siegfried," and then this little boy
Flies
goes
away.
like, and chases them, and then those souls are going, because this creepy child is chasing after them.
All right.
It doesn't become cool then.
Let's how about we put it to like this: Pokemon or that?
What's more creative?
No, just what would you
How is
rather?
Pokemon more creative than that? Tadpolemon.
That's Digimon, man.
You're saying that Pokemon was original. One of them
Not
was
original.
Voltorb. It was a Pokeball without the little circle in the center. They just wanted to get to 150. You're saying that that's better?
One of them's a dugong, which is an actual
Exactly.
animal.
Why are you defending this?
Yeah, that's a terrible example, Robbie.
One of them's called
Out of
Seal,
everything in this world.
and it's a seal. What I'm saying to you is,
Caterpie.
all right, listen up. What I'm saying
Pidgey.
is,
Pidgey's a pigeon.
Butterfree, tripod. Look, what I'm saying is, I would rather
Ash
the
was
Pokemon.
a Pokemon. That's the twist at the end.
I'd rather the Pokemon
Yeah, someone
universe.
catches him and it's like a huge monster. The game within the game.
My question is, would you rather that universe,
Yeah.
Pokemon
Matrix.
or that ghost?
Or the
Of course you wouldn't want the ghost universe. That is
That's the end
nightmarish.
times.
No one wants to live in the end times. Can
No.
you imagine that? I'd imagine that
you
every
prefer
single
Pokemon.
7-Eleven attendee...
So you'd prefer
Yeah,
Pokemon?
so say Pokemon, please. Which is better, Pokemon or...
yeah, okay, I will say Pokemon.
All right, well, let's
I'd
move
say
on.
souls, man. Pokemon is horrible. I never liked Pokemon. I never liked Digimon. None of that mon stuff. I say souls. It is. Souls is the way to go.
Does
All
everyone like Ali less as a result of it? No, don't you think that when you hear that somebody didn't like Pokemon, you feel this kind of... Just how in Indian society, when you see an untouchable, in Indian minds, they must be thinking, unclean, unclean. Don't you feel that about Dali? when you
Yeah,
say
it's like
stuff
that whole, like, oh, it's like animal cruelty. I hated Pokemon. Go away, whatever.
I don't hate Pokemon
Could've
because
moved
of
in there,
animal
yeah.
cruelty. I hate it for television cruelty. I never liked that show. I never liked them cards. It's just not for me, man.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
But yeah, I think
What was for you then, Ali? I bet you're going to say, oh, I was reading Marxism back then, so I was a little more advanced than just some shitty little animals.
some little Mon show.
No, I was watching Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, admittedly, better than Pokemon.
No, no.
You're listening to FBI in the afternoons drive home, where there's half an hour of people discussing what was the best kid show.
Yeah, oh my god, I've slipped into that.
God,
Look at
we
us.
have. Look at this. Awful.
But yeah, I think your ghost example.
No one said stop.
Your ghost example of the little boy that chases the souls away does make it cooler, but it doesn't make it any more funny.
But that's a Pokemon.
Ghastly.
Is where I'm getting it.
What about if all bankers, instead of being some knob in a suit that when he sees you gives you a noogie and says,
Hey,
you know, those kind of guys.
Yeah.
It's basically just a giant penis that bought himself a Vuitton, you know? Those guys, they're not
Right.
those anymore.
Continue
Instead, sorry to get incredibly graphic. Just veiny. Every now and then when he gets really angry and sees the bag step, he goes, what? And jizz comes out of his head.
What the hell?
Gives himself a wig, and then it forms on the top of his head, and he's just like, yeah, I did commerce law, so I'm also a barrister.
Christ.
Instead of that, you're in the bank, and then you say, banker, go get me my money. And he goes, with pleasure. And then puts on a skull face and walks in, and he's this massive, muscly man, huge. Just veins throbbing everywhere, all over his body. He goes in, he puts on these metallic gloves, and then he walks into this room filled with wailing souls, millions of them going like that. And then he gets these hands, and they've got electric shocks coming out of them going, how many did you want? Just 50, mate. That'd be good. Okay, we're trying 50.
They get sucked into his hands. Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's good.
Yeah, no, it's an evocative. Yeah, that was well described. Yeah, well described.
What would you? What do you think's cooler now? Pokemon or the souls?
Pokemon.
All right, Robbie.
It's being difficult.
No.
All right, Robbie. Because you care so little about
What's a
souls.
dig trio? What is that?
Doug trio.
What's beneath that? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, we've
Isn't
seen
it just
the meme.
Doug Tree with tumors? Well, no. He's a Siamese triplet.
Have you seen the meme? It's
He
like a
evolved
huge.
Yes. The meme
That
is
Doug
so
Trio is
good.
just like a huge man, like just lying horizontally, and it's his like dick poking out of the ground.
ties nicely into his story there.
Yeah.
Little suit there.
He's wearing a baton.
Diglett in a suit there. Robbing a bank.
Yeah.
That's all you are, you com law graduates from City University. You just Doug Tree. Don't you reckon?
Isn't it Diglett?
Yeah, Diglett Doug Trio.
Sorry.
Doug Trio, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
My mistake.
Anyway.
Yeah, so anyway, Robbie, because you care
mistakes.
because you care so little about souls, we thought, well, why don't you sell yours to us then if you don't care about souls?
Well, you have the same opinion as me about it.
No, I care about my soul. I don't want to sell my soul.
Oh, I care about my soul. I don't want to
You
sell
do not.
All right,
Liar.
fine. I'll sell it.
Before the show. There we go.
You win.
All right.
What do you want to sell it for? What about these wooden pegs that Robbie...
For
you
your...
can't use these pegs that Robbie got for your house unless you sell your soul.
I'll give you my soul for your iPod Touch.
No.
You can have it
I don't want
forever.
your crap soul for these iPod Touch. I actually think that this is worth... This
Die.
is worth 300
Die.
souls.
What do you reckon's worth more? His iPod Touch or my soul?
Your soul.
Your soul.
My soul. Jordan, my soul.
Can't
I'll
we just
give it
go
to
to the
you.
segment where we're going to surprise Di by asking him to put his penis inside that empty bottle?
It's not going to happen.
Well, that didn't really work as a distraction. I don't want to sell my iPod for your soul.
All right, fine.
What
Yeah.
Is anyone going to sell their soul? Going once.
I'll
Going
sell my
twice.
soul.
Yes!
For what,
I
Ali?
have a bid.
Look at this.
What for, though? It doesn't change this. For the iPod Touch or just for nothing?
I want something.
Can you empty your soul into that bottle through
Di's penis.
your penis?
It's also no undies day, isn't it?
It is.
I'll give you my soiled undies for your soul.
Which,
Deal.
again,
No, I don't want your soiled undies, man. That
can
guy's
wash
getting
them.
an iPod Touch, and I'm getting fucking soiled undies.
Just give him some equipment from FBI. Just
Yeah.
You can have that fire hydrant over there.
All right. Yeah,
If
that's
this place
actually a
burned
good
down, you
deal.
wouldn't know. It still looks crummy.
You can have my soul for that.
No, it's great. All right, so say Ali,
I think you're really good.
I hereby sell my soul to Jordan Shanks.
I hereby sell my soul to Jordan Shanks.
Oh, dangerous move, Ali. Now you're going to have a dream where
Give him
you're
the bottle.
going into a boat and you can't stir the oars.
Give him the bottle.
Oh, sorry. And in exchange for your mighty soul, Ali, I give you this bottle where I've ripped off the packaging, but it's still dangling, flailing in the air.
Like
a
your
symbol
soul.
of your soul.
I get to slap you really hard for selling you my soul.
No,
No,
you
that
sold
wasn't
it,
part
man.
of the deal. I've got it now.
You can't even make any decisions anymore, Ali. You don't have a
fact.
soul, mate.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the
Fuck,
bottle.
this is the worst deal ever.
How did that happen?
I told you.
Yeah, you should have done it. I wasn't going to do it. I just wanted to see if you'd sell it. Just wanted to get a better deal.
I
Wow,
kind
that
of
is-
didn't like my soul, so I had to give it off anyways.
It's so strange how quickly this descended into utter insanity, isn't it? You traded your soul, for a piece of garbage.
How could you, Ali?
I never liked it.
What
man.
would your mum think?
All right, so now let's move on to the final game to try and cheer Robbie up. We're going to do...
It's the worst theme. Honestly, that is the most frail thing we've ever had.
See how mad he is?
Words truly spoken from Mr. Grumpy Pants.
Okay, so Ali is going to... The game is Robbie has to close his eyes. Ali is going to take one of our shoes off our feet and slam it on the desk. And Robbie has to guess whose shoe it was. And if he can't guess, he's going to get smacked in the face by the shoe.
What's the segment called again? Was it
It was...
Shoe Dares Wins or
Shoes Liners It
Liners It Anyway? It was Shoes Liners It Anyway, that's right.
Third world shoes.
Yeah, and it hurts hard. Third world shoes.
All right, let's do it. Eyes closed.
Okay.
All right, Ali, bang it
Why
on
am I
you.
agreeing to this one?
Here we go. All right, whose shoe is it? It's an easy one.
That was Jordan's.
Shit, yeah, you got it right.
Smack him anyway, Ali.
Yeah, smack him anyway.
I lost my soul. I get to smack someone.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
let's
get
be
smacked
be
anyway.
gentle with
Here we
this.
go.
That was a really good guess.
Can we just
Close your eyes.
Can you? Do I? Do I have
Yeah.
to close my eyes for
Yeah.
it? All right,
Take your headphones off a little bit because it might damage the equipment.
Can we be just not too? Let's be delicate.
I
here.
decide what we get
He's a
to do.
soulless man, Robbie.
It's
Okay.
the soul. I have no empathy. I have no soul.
Okay, I don't want to.
Just on the arm or something.
No, on the face.
Oh, my God!
That was right.
Having a soul is not a good thing. It is not a good thing.
God. Okay. Yeah.
I feel amazing now. Let's continue with this.
He has spoken.
What is that?
Ali.
It's a very bad idea. Do not sell your soul for garbage.
All right, well, thank you, everybody. That was a really fun podcast. that's everything we got. Oh, yeah.
I can't
Ali,
believe it.
is there
At the
anything
end
you
of all
want
of
to do?
this, Di was right.
Can we?
Ali?
Tring, 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 tring. Calling Die Slee.
We didn't even mention this. We forgot. We forgot to mention at the beginning of this podcast.
You forget
That Ali was going to prank call Di, even though Di knew that the prank was coming somewhere in the pod. But the twist was he didn't know what the prank was going to be about. And then we
Ali
came in
has
here, and then we
forgot.
found out. Yeah, Ali forgot. We don't have a phone. So Ali is talking into the same microphone as Di, as there is a scant amount of them, as we're at a community radio station, and now he's going to prank Di Slee.
Tring, tring. Calling Die Slee. Tring, tring.
Hello.
Oh, hey, Die.
Yeah.
How you going?
What's up? What's up, man? How you doing?
Nothing, man. I just inserted your toothbrush up my ass this morning.
Oh. Why would you do that?
I felt like it. I wanted something up my ass, and I wanted you to taste it.
Did you sell your soul, Ali?
Yeah, but what's the point?
All right.
Di, it's Tom and Jordan on the radio. You've just been pwned.
Yeah, man.
Oh my god.
I got you, didn't I?
Prank call.
No, but that
You got it, man.
All right,
oh,
that's it,
man,
all
the
right.
sound on your voice, man.
All right, thanks, everybody.
See you next week for more classic pranks.
Thanks, FBI. See you next week. Thanks again.